Hello and welcome. Today we have with us Mr. Rajeev Pathak. He is Managing Director, City Bank, based at London. We will try to know today his journey to this position and also how NITIE shaped his career. Mr. Pathak.
Thank you, Professor Sumi Jha. It's good to connect with yourselves and the students of NITIE. I joined NITIE in 1992, right after my engineering, and right after finishing my NITIE course in 1994, I joined City Bank. I joined Citibank in the operations department, worked there for about 4 years rather, and then moved into the global markets division as the business manager for the India business. And then I moved to Middle East in Bahrain, where I started handling product management, which is largely building platforms for our global markets community, largely focused on foreign exchange. Moved to London in 2010, doing the same role, more globally in nature. And then obviously currently I look after product management for the global markets, rates and currencies division, basically, which deals in interest rate products and foreign exchange. NITIE has actually helped shape my career quite a lot. There are things which NITIE teaches, which is not only in classroom. One of the most important attributes which I learned from NITIE is the industry experience. And having spoken to so many of my colleagues in the bank and even other friends, basically, I don't think any other institute has two projects with the industry and several other seminars and connectivity with respect to getting the industry leaders to talk about their experiences, giving opportunity to students to come and work with them to learn real practical skills. This is something which is very unique in NITIE, and I think that helped me quite a lot in terms of getting the real life environment of the industry experience, and at the same time networking. I think that's a very important element in terms of how you shape your career. You don't know everything when you get into an industry. A lot of times you know what you want, but when you see the real life environment, you figure out that you could have probably gone into another field within the same industry probably. And networking helps you explore that. NITIE definitely teaches that. Solving comes from some of the technical courses that we have. Project management is another one. No matter which kind of function you are in, you are always working against deadline. So how to break a particular problem and a project into manageable pieces and then track them and get them to closure. This is something which various courses in NITIE as well as my experience in NITIE taught me.
Okay, so you shared some of the skill sets in general you learned from NITIE, but what your advice would be for current students? What kind of skill sets they should acquire given COVID time and in general?
So I would say, NITIE, again, the specialization of NITIE is that the student cohort that comes into NITIE are all engineers. I'm presuming that's still the case. Used to be at the time when I joined. So they already have certain aptitude and analytical skills, call it software skills or analytical capabilities and ability to handle data, big data. These are very, very important skill sets which our students should continue to hone on. And so it's important that students understand the value of code of conduct, ethics, inclusion, diversity. These are very, very important things which are seen in industry these days. And they basically help you grow in the organization and also help the organization grow as well. So I think it's important that our students understand these attributes. They definitely should, like I was talking about, work on their skills around software. Because look at any industry, be it manufacturing, logistics, financial services, without software, without technology, none of these companies, none of these organizations and industries could go to the next level. Manufacturing a car, for example, which used to be at a time purely a mechanical engineering role, is now mechanical engineering plus software engineering. So I would say, people our students in NITIE should continue to hone those skills around those attributes.
So let me just ask you another question, wherein how NITIE should prepare their students, its students for international market?
So I would say, the line between a domestic market and international market is very thin. I've worked in several continents. I've traveled across the globe, and I've seen people within my industry as well as met people from other industries across the globe. And the requirements set that industries have is very similar. So I would not say that you need to learn something extra. I think NITIE brings about the skill set that our students have, especially on the software and system side. That's very unique. I've seen within my company itself, people who joined from NITIE, they are definitely having that edge on the software side. See, most of the industries globally, if you look at US, all the big industries, big companies like Google, Microsoft, their heads are all coming from our domestic market who moved out, and they're all software companies, basically, largely, even financial services companies. So I would just say that for international market, nothing much different is required. Obviously, important thing is communication skills, networking. Some of those attributes have to be brought into our students, and they will be successful internationally as well.
Yes, and over and above, we also take some kind of courses like cross-cultural management or knowing certain languages that are required for different countries. So that specifically we are taking. But as you rightly said, some of the basic skill sets that are required, which would remain same for probably domestic market or international market. Some of the fun moments you had at NITIE.
I think some of the fun moments I would say is how festivals are celebrated in NITIE. Navratri was one festival which I had personally not experienced coming from North. And I could see the colorful nature of Navratri that we had in NITIE. Which is a particular cultural function that we had when we joined. Basically, it was fun because you meet people coming from varied varieties of society and colleges, and you get together to produce something within the first 30 days of joining the institute. It's real fun. So these two main ones, I would say. Another one is the movies that we used to have in auditorium on Tuesdays. That used to be real fun. No matter what we had on Wednesday, which classes, which exams, Tuesday movies were sacrosanct, had to be seen.
Good to know all these stories. Would you like to say some parting words with students of NITIE?
Yeah, I would probably summarize what I've just said. Basically, I think some of the new tools and skill sets which I want the students of NITIE to definitely focus on. One is data. I'm pretty sure in this day and age, NITIE would have got some courses around data science, data management. That's a hugely, it's a skill in demand quite largely in or across the world, even in India. So we should get our students to focus on that. Another one which is happening and also important from a COVID point of view as well is certain entrepreneurial skills. So now you might not be able to necessarily get industry experience or a job very easily, given that there is a downturn in economy, again exacerbated by the COVID situation. But there's no stopping you trying out your hands on setting up something on your own. These days, it's not that difficult. Also, I would say just stay focused. Don't get worried by this current situation. Focus on your skills, your attributes around software systems, your data management skills, analytical abilities, and you'll get there.
So much for your words of wisdom to our student, and I know they will listen and enjoy listening to this video. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Sumi Jha. Thanks for having me.